The wiper blade scraped across the windshield, each shriek ratcheting my terror higher. As the headlights struck the wall of falling snow, it felt like he was taunting me from afar. Every violent blast of wind that shoved my Charger across the road reminded me of how he'd throw me around like a rag doll. "Slut! Trailer trash!" His words from earlier cut through the storm. "You'll never amount to anything!" The car skidded sideways as I rounded a corner. My left wrist shrieked in pain, hanging useless as I fought to correct my course. Only one hand to guide me towards safety, wherever that even was. "I own you!" The words echoed as the memory of the bat came down. The memory stole my focus, and the Charger spun a full 360 in the middle of the road, mocking me. Fear gripped my chest, freezing me in place. At any moment he could wake up to find me gone. At any moment his Jeep could emerge from the white curtain, and if that happened, I knew I'd be dead. His warning haunted me. "If you ever try to leave, no one will ever find you." A scream tore out of me, one no one would ever hear, right before I slammed the accelerator in panic. The tires spun uselessly. Another scream ripped free. Then, traction. The Charger lurched forward, and I was moving again. "Stay focused, JJ," I told myself. "A few more miles. Just a few." "You miserable bitch." His favorite line. The terrible part? There was truth in it. I was miserable, and everyone could see it. I hated driving at night because of the gauge cluster. The glowing red accents on the dash always reminded me of his rage. Tonight was no different. One quick glance down was enough to pull me back into the moment. "Kelvin, why are you doing this?" I remember screaming as the bat came down a third time. The image of it smashing into my wrist jarred me as I hit a pothole, nearly ripping the wheel from my grasp. Control slipped again as the rear tire kissed the slushing gravel shoulder. The phantom crack of bone echoed through my skull. I forced myself to focus, gripping the wheel until my hand ached from trying to pull us back in line. Safety. Just a few more miles. I kept telling myself. The words repeating hollowly, even as I knew my own mind wouldn't believe them. But my escape always followed the same cycle. Control, fear, distraction, danger, control. It had been that way since Kelvin first struck me in Tokyo on our honeymoon. I wanted that cycle to end, both in my life and now, on this road. The engine roared as the rear tires struck a hidden patch of ice. The Charger spun again. Wind hammered the frame as I fought to compose myself. "Is there safety out here?" I whispered, thinking how the blizzard felt like my torrential marriage. Wild, brutal, and without mercy. I decided to pull onto the shoulder despite the lack of visibility, to collect myself. As I sat there doing breathing exercises, I noticed a slight taste of salt on my lips. It couldn't be sweat. The heater was barely on. "When did I begin to cry?" I whispered softly. As I ran through everything I'd fled from, I realized it could have been anything that brought the tears. The horrific attack, running to the car with only my purse in the storm, the countless close calls, anything. Then a new memory surfaced, striking harder than the rest. "JJ, you're a grown woman, and I love you. But it was Dad's warning when I got engaged." Placing my good arm over the wheel, I broke down. My body shook with heavy sobs. Guilt filled my mind with each repetition of his words. "Why?" I cried. "Why didn't I listen? None of the past 2 years would have happened if I had listened." Pain soared through my left arm as I wiped my eyes. The tears had barely cleared when a blast of wind hammered my poor charger. The jolt threw me to the side, the seatbelt digging into my neck. After a few more sniffles and a heavy pulse of regret, I pushed forward once more. "No," I whispered into the dark vines of the car's interior. "I'm not dying like this. Not in this storm, and not by Kelvin's evil, greasy hands." The words had barely left my lips before the car shuddered again. My pulse spiked. The wheel twitched violently, and the hiss of the tires tearing through the slush grew louder. The doors rattled under the wind as my headlights vanished into the white curtain. I repeated my vow. Not like this. Not by his hands. But the words felt thin. My wrist burned, my head pounded. If the storm didn't take me, my own body might. My chest tightened, each breath a labor as the storm only intensified. For one split second, I was back in the apartment, reeling from a blow to the gut. Then, it happened. My luck ran out. A pure white flash split the sky. Thunder followed, and an instant later, pounding my ears like cannons. For a moment, I was both mesmerized and terrified. The rear tires struck ice, hurling the car onto the shoulder. Instinct made me grab the wheel with both hands. Then a bolt of pain shot up my injured wrist, and I cried out, letting it go. The skid worsened as I overcorrected. Right, left, right again. The fishtailing only grew worse. One final swing finally threw the charger completely across the road. The rumble of the Hemi cut out. Silence rushed in, broken only by the harsh hiss of the radiator and the ticking of cooling metal. A familiar copper taste seeped into my mouth as my eyes stung from the powder inside the airbag. I touched my fingers to my lips and felt moisture. My lip was busted open. The steady click, click, click of the hazard lights echoed through the cabin, oddly soothing beneath the howl of the wind. My eyelids felt heavy, each blink slower than the last. My wrist throbbed. The seatbelt dug into my neck, pinning me in the twisted metal. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I was a passenger inside my own failing body. This isn't how I expected to die, I whispered as the world dimmed around me. The clicking slowed. The cold crept deeper. Sound thinned into a distant hum. And then somewhere inside that silence, I heard him. "No. No, please." His voice dragged at me like deep water pulling me under. The darkness shifted. A new voice cut through it. Lower, steady, warm in a way that didn't belong to him. Hey, no, stay with me." A hand touched my cheek. Gentle, rounding, real. "Come on, I've got you. Don't go." My eyes fluttered open briefly, vision fractured and hazy with pain. The storm's glare haloed a figure leaning in close, breath clouding the freezing air. She wasn't him. She wasn't danger. She was heat, and focus, and urgency. "Stay awake, you hear me?" she urged as she worked to free me from the wreckage. "I've got you." Thank you for listening to Whiteout, beginning of Sandy and JJ's journey. If this chapter hit you hard, you're not alone. Take a breath, take a moment, and remember, healing starts with a single step. I'll see you in Chapter 1, The Breaking Point. And remember, fly high and know that you are loved.